Hi there, today I'm going to show you how to use one product a variety, one palette a variety of ways. And for reference, I've already applied my foundation and set my face. I used the MCO Beauty Miracle Hydro Glow in medium beige as my foundation. My concealer is L'Oreal True Match in 2N Vanilla. And the setting powder I used today is the Moira Set and Correct Loose Setting Powder Colour Neutralizer. So it comes in the pink and the green and the blue, and it just, I think it's really good. It's nice and finely milled. I've also set that down with Niod Superoxide Dismutase Saccharide Mist, which is a skincare product, not necessarily a setting spray, but it does help with that oxidization that sometimes happens when you put foundation or any makeup on your skin and it turns a bit yellow. This helps to reduce that as well. So on my lips, I've got Too Faced Hangover Pillow Balm in Cocoa Kiss, which is something I usually wear at night. The original one I wear at night. This one's got a tint, so this one's better for day. The palette in question is e.l.f. and this is the bite-sized eyeshadow in Truffles. You can see it's quite well used. All right, that's a matte black, a chocolate brown, a caramel colour, and a cool tone shimmer, which we may or may not be using that one today. This is, I think they're still $6 at Target. So I'm going to show you how to use it in a variety of ways today. First of all, I have done my brows, or at least gelled them, with the MCO Beauty Hair and Brow Magic Wand, but I haven't filled them in. So I'm going to use this palette to fill them in with the chocolate brown. So I'm taking, you can see it's got a spoolie on one end and an angled flat brush on the other, dipping it in to the palette, backwards and forwards, and then give it a tap. And then we're going to fill in. So I'm actually following the hair strokes, the way the hair is going. And then I'm going underneath there to create a bit of a definition. This is very quick and easy, I gotta say. So brush up. You can style your brows however you like. You can put this on first and then do your gel if you want to, but I find that I actually already have a bit of a line created from setting the brows down, and it just makes it so much quicker. That's done. That brow is done. Let's do the other one. Now this is a little bit messy. I didn't quite style it correctly this morning, but it is what it is. And I'll fix up with the spoolie. So you can just see I'm brushing, following the hair strokes up and then defining. It's always good to tap off your brush before you go in. Put it on your face, because less is more. You can always add more, but it's harder, especially with a darker shade, to take it off, especially given that I've already done my foundation today, which is not the usual process for me. I normally do my eye makeup first. Ever so softly creating a line there. Right, let's spoolie that through a little bit. So whilst that brow gel has good hold, it's not like super hold. So even once it's dried down, you've still got an opportunity to style your brows. I do find it has a little bit of a white cast, especially after a few uses, you know, when I've been dipping into it and it's gone on the face, it's just already got product on it. But I just clean up the brush with some hot water and some facial cleanser, and that's enough usually to get it back to where you want it, nice and clean. It's, you know, it's not a high-end product, so you're not paying a lot for it. And I sort of think, well, what do you expect? Okay, brows are done. I think they're even. I hope they're even. If they're not, they're not. So be it, huh? All right, so we've used that chocolate shade for the brows. And if you're, you know, light, medium skin tone like me, that would be an ideal shade. Most of the time, you know what? I actually only use this palette for these things. I don't use it as an eyeshadow much, but of course I'm going to today. Before I do though, I'm going to use this shade as my bronzer. So I've got my foundation brush here and I'm dipping it in quite hard. So why do I do this part of my face, you ask? Well, you know, I've got saggy bits, I've got a very prominent chin. It's the whole light and shadow thing. It's just a little bit of disguising of that area. All right, so we're going to stamp it here, under the cheekbone and up, look along the hairline there. I'm going to also sweep it out across my ears to match it up. This performs really well as a powder bronzer. The e.l.f. shadow formula is really good. Not just for the price, it's just really good. You can see there's a bit of contouring there, which is what I wanted. Right, let's do the other side. Now the benefit of using the foundation brush is that even though it's a narrower foundation brush, and this is a very small pan that I'm getting it from, I can still get quite a lot of product on it because it's a little bit damp still from applying the foundation. Over the ear again, down along the jawline there, blending it. Now, as I said, I have already set my face, so you couldn't use, well, not very well anyway, cream bronzer over a set face, but a powder bronzer, of course you can. So now I'm going to do the nose, tip of the nose, sides of the nose, take it across the top of the cheeks because we're not using blush. Okay, that looks a little patchy at the moment, so I'm going to dust off with my fluffy brush. Oh, I forgot to mention the mascara I've put on too. It's Max Stack. Now I like to keep mostly the center of my face quite light and certainly matte. It's not looking too matte at the moment, so I will have to reset that with powder. In with the Moira powder again. That's better. Don't poke oneself in one in the eye. It's a good rule of thumb. Ah, that's better. So I've still got that bronzing glow without the patchiness now. It's all nice and blended. Happy with that. Okay, let's do some eyeshadow. So far I've used it as a brow product, a brow tint. I've used it as a bronzer or contour as well. And now I'm actually going to use it for what it was intended for, as an eyeshadow. So let me grab a nice, soft, big, fluffy brush. Yes, I've cleaned all my brushes. They're nice and clean today. Tapered blending. Yeah, it's soft. You don't want to be getting one that's really hard because it moves the skin too much, and we've got enough mobile skin going on. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to use that same bronzing shade as what's called the transition shade. Forgive me if I'm looking up a little bit because I've got a mirror right behind the iPhone here. So I'll just put a little bit of colour, almost essentially a contour shade, to hide the hooded eye a little bit. Certainly not ashamed of my hooded eyes. You know how much I love eyeshadow. I play out my eyes all the time, but it's a good technique and it's super easy. Look at that. That's one shadow and it's not even on the whole lid. It's good shadow, I told you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sweep it out a bit. That creates that nice, see that angle effect there? Okay, so now I'm going to go back in with the chocolate shade, and I'm going to define the outer area. Actually, I'm going to put a bit more bronze on first. So I want it to come in here. And I will be using this as eyeliner as well. So this is a really nice warm, on the warm side of shade. So that's why my eyes suddenly a lot bluer. That's one shade, one colour. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with that brush again, which has already got the chocolate on it. And I'm going to stamp out here. See how quick that goes on like that? Instant eye lift as well. So with that angled brush, getting a bit of fallout there, that's okay. We've set the face, haven't we? We just flick it away. Eyeliner, just like that. That's the chocolate shade. Now everybody loves their neutrals. I love them too, but I do get a bit tired of neutral shades all the time. But in the summer, we're not wanting to do, except if we're party on, that much. So I'm just going to take that into the crease just a wee bit. Just like that. Okay, and I'm going to go back in with my blending brush. And I'm going to, with the softest, lightest touch, blend that. And soften under here. Nice, huh? So far I've used 3 brushes, because the foundation brush. I like to turn my head to the side to do this to make sure that I'm blending it properly. So all we're aiming for there is the slightest amount of definition. Pretty low key. Could go harder. Put on another coat, blend again, more smoky. Definitely could do that. But we're not doing that today because we're just doing an everyday tutorial. And we're trying to just use what's here as quickly as possible. So I am going to use the shimmer, and I'm going to use my finger for this. That's it there. It's quite cool tone, which is interesting because most of the rest of the palette is warm-ish or mid-tone. So I'm placing the shimmer essentially on the centre of the lid. Now this would be the quickest way to take your day makeup to evening makeup. If you want to intensify the shimmer, what you do is you get your brush, your blending brush, and you spray it with some setting spray or even just use water. And that will increase, oh, sweaty, increase the opacity of the shimmer. Okay, so I'm just going to go in with my blending brush and a little bit more of, I'm going to mix them actually, a bit of chocolate and a bit of bronze, just the lightest taps, and take that in and around on that crease line to make sure there's no harsh lines between the shadows. See, there's a bit of smoke there. Day to night. In about 60 seconds or whatever it took me to do that. How's that? Are we looking even? We could add a bit more chocolate, couldn't we? Ah, there you are. That's nice. That's what I want. Now my right side, this side, like many people, not symmetrical. This side's lower than this side. So that's why, and it's like so common, but the light and the shadow does its thing. Okay, let me make sure there's no fallout there. Flick, flick, flick. Is that some on my face? I can't tell. You probably can. Okay. Just going to go back in with a bit more mascara to take it up a notch. Take them up a notch. Now you notice I haven't put any inner corner highlight because there's no shade light enough to do it. So that's where the concealer comes in. You can go, because I normally do my eye makeup first, I would then put the concealer on the inner corner as a brightening, for a brightening effect. But I've already done it, and I think it's already bright enough. And the blue veiny stuff, especially there, is already covered up. So you'll notice I'm focusing my mascara on the outer lashes on the top lash line, because that also enhances that lifting effect. like that. Yes, I have very round eyes. I have lots of lid space, but I still want the upward definition. Okay, so that's essentially it. I'm going to spray my face again, making sure that everything's looking okay now. Yes. All right, just let that dry a little bit. I'm wearing my Huda Gurus t-shirt today. And Dandy Warhols, but they weren't so good. The Huda Gurus were amazing, as they usually are. Rightio. So that is how to use one teeny tiny palette that's $6 from Target in 1, 2, 3 ways. Have a great day, everyone. See ya. Bye.